Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we will be crocheting these very adorable cup cozies. They are so easy to make. Once you know the pattern, they can be made in like 15 or 10 minutes. Very easy, fast. I made so many already. They're the same color. So I'm gonna try to switch it up and make it more in this color now. So today I'm gonna be making red. And I wanna actually make a few other colors and then switch them up and then like sell them, 3 coasters all together tied up. I think that would look really adorable. And I love that they have kitty ears because I love cats. So everyone that knows me know that I love cats. So this is perfect. I can give them as gifts to people. We're gonna be using hook 3.75. And we're gonna need a stitch marker as usual. I always use a stitch marker so I don't lose my row. The end of the row, I always put a stitch marker. And of course our yarning needle to weave in the ends at the end. And then we need scissors as well. I'm not sure how many I will be able to make today, maybe 1 because I will be talking, but usually it takes me very fast to make them. But I will be stopping to tell you guys the story, and I'm kind of bad at multitasking. I'm still learning, but yeah, so it probably will take me longer to make these ones when talking. I want to tell you guys that today's story is gonna be unique. Not only because I've never heard of its story, and it's gonna be another country which I never talked about, and also it was suggested to me by one of you guys. So this story was suggested to me by Karina Sarabia. Thank you so much for suggesting this story. I have never heard of this story and the impact that it made on Latin America, and there's been a lot of changes because of this unfortunate incident that happened, but it's so twisted. It's very sad, and actually I couldn't find any articles or videos in English about this because it's very big in Latin America and also in some European countries. It's very big that people would protest, after this happened. In English there's no articles, there's no videos about it for some reason. So I had to dig out some things. I used Google Translate. I did my own research. This is what I compiled and came up with. Let's start from the beginning. Chiara Paez Camargo was born in 2001. Actually, unfortunately, I could not find the exact date. I looked everywhere, and everywhere it just says 2001. Doesn't say the actual date. So unfortunately, that's all I could find. She was born in 2001 in the province of Santa Fe in Argentina. She was born to parents Veronica Camargo and Fabio Paez. Chiara's parents separated when she was very young, and her mom ended up having custody of her and her sister. So this is who she resided with. She was really close with her mom. They were like best friends. However, she was also very close with her dad, and she hung out with him a lot. Besides her sister, Kiara had a total of 5 siblings. They were half siblings. 4 siblings were on the dad's side, so she didn't really live with them, but she loved all her siblings. Kiara was a tom girl, so she loved to hang out with guys, and she actually played hockey since she was 4 years old. And in her school, she was on a hockey team as well. Kiara was very popular in high school and she had a lot of friends. At the time of the incident, Kiara was in 10th grade in high school. Kiara was so beautiful and had a big personality. Everyone loved to hang out with her. She was also very close with her family. And she would often honor her family by posting pictures of them on her social media, of her grandparents, of her siblings, of her parents. She just loved everybody. While in high school, Kiara met a 16-year-old boy who was 2 years older than her. His name is Manuel Mancia Vallego. They were friends at first, but then in October of 2014, they began a romantic relationship. And after only 5 months of dating, Kiara became pregnant from this boy. As you can imagine, a 14-year-old girl, she was extremely scared and found courage to tell her mom. And thankfully, her mom was very supportive. She was also able to tell her aunt, so her mom and her aunt were the only people in her family who knew about Kiara's pregnancy. And they were very supportive, and they told her whatever she decides to do, they will be on her side no matter what. They will be supporting her. If she wants to keep the baby, they will be there for her. So Kiara decided to keep the baby. On May 9th, 2015, it was a Friday night, and Kiara decided to go out with some friends to a restaurant. I'm guessing it was a walking distance because they walked everywhere. So after the dinner, Kiara told her friends that she's gonna walk and meet up with her boyfriend Manuel at a recreation center nearby. And this was already around 1 in the morning. So Kiara ended up leaving the restaurant where she was out with her friends and headed to hang out with her boyfriend. However, later it was discovered that Manuel told family of Kiara a different story, that he never met with her that day. She never was planning to meet with him in the first place. After a text message was sent to a friend at around 1:20 a.m. from Kiara's phone, Kiara was not heard of again. was reading this and researching about this story, the whole time I had a question in my head. Why she was walking alone, a 14-year-old girl, at 1 in the morning. A pregnant 14-year-old girl. I mean, her friends could have helped her get her there, safely. But knowing teenagers also, they can be a little foolish sometimes and probably didn't even think about anything happening to her, so we've all been there. So I just answered my own question. So Kiara didn't come home, and by the morning on Saturday, everyone became completely devastated. Everyone was worried about her, all her friends that were with her, her family. They started searching for her. And they also notified police as well. And police began investigation on her disappearance. Family and friends were searching around the area where she was last seen, and the recreation center where she said she was gonna go to. And it did not take long for police to start looking at Kiara's boyfriend Manuel and start looking at him as a suspect, because all her friends were saying that this is who she went to meet that night. First of all, his version of what happened didn't seem to go along with the version of her friends, and it was many people versus him, and he was saying a completely different story. Also, Kiara's mother, Veronica, she said she spoke with Manuel that night when she was looking for her on the phone, and Manuel seemed completely not caring about anything. He was suspiciously trying to evade her questions and did not want to talk to her at all. On Sunday, May 11th, so this has been 24 hours now since disappearance of Kiara, Manuel's dad, Ruben Mancia, who was a police officer in their town, brought his son to the police station, brought Manuel to the police station where he worked at, and he told his co-workers that his son Manuel has something to say about the disappearance of Kiara, because moments earlier Manuel actually confessed to his father that he killed Kiara. He told his father that he accidentally killed her. When he pushed her, she fell on the ground and hit her head. And then he didn't know what to do, and he hid her body somewhere. He didn't say where. And this is the reason why Ruben took Manuel to the police, so he can actually confess by himself to police and turn himself in. It should be noted that Manuel did not live with his father because his parents were separated, so Manuel did not live with his father. He lived with his mother and his stepdad and also his grandparents, so it was a full house. So Manuel came to the police station with his dad and ended up confessing that they had an argument with Kiara that night when she came over where the body was hidden. So the authorities went to his house where his whole family lived, and they told him to leave for the day, and they raided the whole house looking for this body. They were looking everywhere to find Kiara. They even brought in cadaver dogs to smell out the body. Eventually, they did end up finding Kiara's body, buried in a fetal position outside in the backyard, under the patio. Due to this discovery, everyone in the house was arrested on suspicion that they might also have been involved in her murder. So everyone was arrested, including grandparents. Kiara's cell phone was also found a few blocks from the house, and the battery was out of the cell phone, along with the chip. And the chip was actually found inserted into a different phone elsewhere. And this was done in order to mislead the police, obviously. Guys, I apologize. I have a really big thunderstorm going on in where I live right now. So if you can hear some rains, it might go away soon, but it's in the background, so hopefully it's not too distracting. According to medical examiners, Kiara died due to many blows to the head with fists, to the head and face. Moreover, they did confirm that Kiara was about 3 months pregnant at this time. In addition, medical examiners also found a drug called oxyprost in her system, in her body. And this drug is used to chemically induce abortion in women. This helped police rule out that Kiara's death was an accident, because she was clearly beaten to death many times. Authorities began to hypothesize that Manuel was the one who wanted her to have the abortion, and he forced her to eat the medication. That's how it ended up in her system. But she tried to get rid of it from her system by throwing up or something. That's why it was only traces of it found. It wasn't fully in there. And when this didn't work, this is when Manuel decided to kill her. Kiara told her mother that she did want to have the baby. However, she did say that both Manuel and his mother were against it. Guys, I think it's like hailing outside. It's really loud. It was determined that Kiara and Manuel had a lot of discussions and arguments about the baby, and Manuel did not want to take responsibility for the baby. Also, the couple allegedly had a violent relationship even before Kiara's pregnancy. So according to Manuel, this is what happened. In the early morning hours of May 10th, 2015, Kiara went to Manuel's house. They got into an argument and he ended up killing her, with not a single person in his family hearing the screams. She just silently was killed. I mean, there's other 4 people in the house, and this wasn't a big house. I'm pretty sure they were able to hear everything there, especially someone getting killed. Then, after digging a big hole in the backyard under the patio, he placed her body there. So he dragged her out to outside into this hole by himself through the whole house. And many people don't agree with this version of and he's saying that he dragged her out there by himself without anyone noticing him. And he looks really skinny in pictures, I'm not sure. I mean, he might be able to do it, but it would be loud, and I'm sure at least one family member would wake up during this time. Authorities began to believe that the family members who were inside the house must have been involved to at least move the body. So for that reason, 34-year-old mother Carolina Callejas and 43-year-old stepfather Carlos Cerrato were detained, along with the grandparents. But after some questioning, it was determined that grandparents were most likely not involved, and so they were released from custody shortly after that. Manuel stated that he himself, without anyone's help, dug out a hole that was about 80 centimeters deep, which is about 2 feet. And he said that he used to work making wells before, so he knew how to do that. But his stepdad also worked in excavation, and so he had all the right tools to make a perfect hole like that. This should be noted because the hole in which Kiara's body was found was well raked, and it looked professionally done. Furthermore, on Sunday, when everyone else was looking for Kiara, the whole town was looking for Kiara. What was Manuel's family doing? They were making barbecue in the backyard. Yes, this is the same backyard in which Kiara was buried. For several months, the mother and stepfather were in custody, but police could not find any evidence about their involvement, and police could not keep them in custody for a long time with no evidence. So on August 8th of 2015, about 3 months after the death of Kiara, the mother and stepfather were released from custody. At this time, however, Manuel was in pre-trial detention center awaiting trial, and that trial only happened 2 years later. In November 2017, the trial was finally held when Manuel was now 18 years of age, and he's been incarcerated this whole time. Because both Manuel and Kiara were minors at the time of the crime, most of the information from the trial was kept confidential, and the trial obviously could not be recorded. But we know that at the trial, Manuel kept saying that death was an accident, and he continued claiming that he accidentally pushed her and this is how she died. However, evidence showed otherwise. With all the evidence that they had, it was very safe to assume that Manuel did not want the baby, and this is the reason why he got rid of Kiara. Prosecution also argued that Manuel acted like nothing happened the next day. He acted cold and neutral at the trial, and when he got arrested, even if he did kill her by accident, he did not show any remorse whatsoever. Manuel also continued claiming that he acted alone, and no one in his family helped him move the body. So in 2017, Manuel Mania was sentenced to 23 years in prison, 23 years and 6 months instead. This kind of crime would originally be 35 years in prison in Argentina as an adult, but he got less time because he was a minor at the time the crime occurred. Manuel's attorney also appealed the judge's decision, and in 2018, the Chambers of Appeals confirmed his sentence. Then they again filed an appeal, and this one was before the Supreme Court of Santa Fe in Argentina. And after this appeal on February 11th of 2022, so this was last year, the Supreme Court ordered that Manuel Mancia's case be overturned, reviewed, and then his sentence can be modified. Make it consistent with the juvenile criminal law in Argentina. Since he was still a juvenile at the time of the offense. And according to this law in Argentina, the sentence that Manuel should have received for this crime is actually 10 to 15 years. So this will reduce it to 7 years if he will be retried. And if he is released, half the time served for good behavior, which often happens in Argentina as well, then he can be released right now if he is retried. The case of Chiara Paez unleashed the largest movement regarding women's rights in Latin America. About a month after her death, so on June 2015, there was a massive protest in Argentina with the slogan, "Not one less." And this protest was carried out in more than 80 cities in Argentina. This feminist movement began because for several years, Argentina was hit by a wave of femicides. This means a killing of a woman by a man. And actually, in the same year that Kiara was killed, there were 285 other women who were also killed by their partner in Argentina. Not one less slogan spread like fire in Latin America. Mostly in Mexico, Chile, Peru, Ecuador, and Uruguay. And it even went to some European countries as well, such as Spain. This made the Argentinian government worry for the first time what the public thinks of their policies. And they created new policies with intention to help prevent victims of domestic violence in Argentina. But unfortunately, not all of these policies have been fully effective. Since 2015, every June 3rd, there have been marches carried out all across Latin America every June 3rd to demand end of violence against women, as well as rights in favor of gender equality. But I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think? Do you think the parents were involved? Did Manuel get help from someone in his household? To cover up or to carry the body or to kill? Let me know what you think. And some part, as you might have noticed, and I didn't quite finish, but actually this is the last row of the normal, just regular double crochet round. So it's double crochet, increase, double crochet, increase all over. And then after this we're gonna do ears, and so I'm gonna slip stitch here, skip 2 stitches, and then the ear is gonna go like 3 double crochets in 1 stitch, 2 more treble crochets in the same stitch, and then we're gonna do a little beacon, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the other stitch as well to finish off the ear. And then we're gonna skip 10 more stitches and do the same thing for second ear. So here we skipped 10 stitches,